Good evening. This is Carnivore Ken here for another informational video. I want to make sure no one here takes anything I say as medical advice. You should definitely follow what your traditional doctor says. You should. I don't, but maybe you should. Just remember, I'm just a guy from the YouTube. You go to your doctor and you find out you have high cholesterol. After you have high cholesterol, of course, he wants to put you on a statin drug. You would like more tests, so he sends you for a CAC test, a coronary calcium test that will score out if you have any calcium in your arteries. You find out, well, you flunked that test too, like I did. Now what? Do you take a big statin drug with all its possible side effects and very, very low benefits, if any? There's all kinds of research on both sides, whether there's benefits or there's not. There's studies that claim there's slight benefits, and there are studies that show there is no benefits in both people who've already had previous events and people that have not had previous events. The studies go back and forth. I've been studying this for years. I am not a doctor, and I cannot make those decisions for you. That is a personal choice for yourself. But if you get prescribed that statin pill, and that's all you do, what can you expect to happen to your calcium buildup in your arteries? Well, Dr. William Davis can explain it to you very well. Let me show you a short video from him.
Let's talk about whether statin cholesterol drugs can reduce a heart scan score. Now, statin cholesterol drugs are drugs like Lipitor, Crestor, Zocor, or other drugs, non-statin drugs that reduce total LDL cholesterol. Heart scan scores are sometimes called coronary calcium scores, and all they are is an index or gauge of the volume of atherosclerotic plaque in your heart's arteries, the stuff that ruptures and causes heart attacks or worsens, grows, and causes chest pain that leads to things like stress testing, heart catheterization, stent implantation, bypass surgery. Well, let's say you have a heart scan score of 500, and let's say you do nothing about it. You go about your business, go to work, etc. You come back a year later, a score of 500 increases to 625. If you continue to do nothing, a year later, the score is 781. And with each passing year, you are closer and closer to heart attack, sudden cardiac death, need for procedures. So doing nothing is very unwise, right? Because the score will increase, inevitably, 25% per year on average. Now, what if you took what my colleagues call optimal medical therapy, which is a low-fat diet, low saturated fat, low total fat, lots of healthy whole grains, they say, a high dose of a statin drug like Lipitor, 80 milligrams, aspirin, maybe a beta blocker like metoprolol, don't smoke, and exercise in moderation. How fast will your heart scan score increase? 25% per year. It has no impact at all on the rate of growth of atherosclerotic plaque.
All right, so now you see that you can't just do anything. Just taking that statin drug is not going to save you. And by the way, just to let you know, 1/4 to 1/3 of all cardiac events happen in people with zero calcium scores. So just because you have a zero calcium score, that doesn't mean you're safe. All right? And also remember, 50% of all heart attacks and strokes happen to people with low or normal cholesterol levels. So regardless of whether you have high cholesterol or a high CAC, maybe you should still try to implement a healthy lifestyle, all right? Because there's no guarantees. And I certainly am not guaranteeing anything. But I'm just pointing out you need to take action, especially if you have a high CAC score, all right? Now, what action do I recommend? I recommend a proper human diet, all right? What happens to rabbits if they eat meat? They get arterial plaque. What happens to humans if you're eating all the plants, the leaves, the stems, the roots that maybe you shouldn't be eating? Possibly, could you get plaque from eating them? Well, I certainly think so. They found plant sterols in 3 different studies in arterial plaque. So there's a case there, believe it or not, that the eating of an inappropriate diet from all the vegetables and fruits could be the culprit. Maybe it isn't the cholesterol, but we don't know. But I'm choosing a carnivore keto type diet, all right? And that's what I recommend because it's one of the most lowest inflammatory diets there is. You don't go around with gas. You feel great. I've been doing it almost 2 years. I'm going to be 64 next month, and this is the best I ever felt, all right, my whole life. So that's what I'm recommending. And, you know, don't knock it till you give it a try. I recommend at least 90 days. And if you get to 90 days on carnivore, it'll have you hooked. You won't ever turn back, all right? The low fat, high grains, vegetables, fruits, the up and down dieting that you've been doing all these years, all it does is cause obesity. It does not work, all right? The next thing you can do is try to optimize your sleep, all right? Whatever that takes, sleeping, making your room a little cooler, all right? Making sure you don't have anything with caffeine several hours before you go to bed. Optimizing your sleep, whatever that takes, will definitely help your overall health. Another thing that I really think that builds up calcium in your arteries is extreme stress. So if you're under stress, whether it's in the workplace or through a bad, people, their relationships with significant others and bad breakups and romance drama, anything that causes you a mass amount of stress, I actually believe is a big contributor to the reason why you have high calcium. I just think there's a connection. All right. Now let's talk about exercising. I recommend sprinting and resistance training. No long distance running. Because what you have to do to become optimized and healthy is to reduce your visceral fat. If you look down and you got a big belly, which I know a lot of people, especially in my age group, 60s or below or above, a big belly means generally you got a bunch of visceral fat and you have a fatty liver. Now, does that sound like something that's healthy? And no, it's not. It's the number one cause of most problems is a high degree of visceral fat. So if you attack that visceral fat, that is going to help you out immensely. If you go on the diet, the proper human diet, and just do the sprinting and the resistance training, I understand if you're extremely out of shape. That means you have to build up, baby steps and work your way up, all right? And I'll do more videos on sprinting, but I believe that's the biggest beneficial change I've done was sprinting, because when I started sprinting, I've showed my belly 1,000,000 times. That's the only thing I did different. I gave up the long distance running. I started sprinting. Now I have my belly just disappeared. And all I have now is the loose skin left from the up and down yo-yo dieting on the low fat veggies and grains and fruits and all the nuts and seeds that I did the majority of my life. So remember also the calcium score is looking in the rear view mirror. So the majority of my life I was on the diet that they recommend, and I feel it failed me, okay? Like it fails most people. Don't count on any pharmaceutical drug fixing your problem. All right, listen, you need to make a change. You have high cholesterol and you have a bad calcium score. You have to make a change. All right. Also, stay well hydrated. That would be very beneficial. Do you know when you go in for your CAC test If you're dehydrated, you can actually have a false reading and have a higher calcium score. For whatever reason, being dehydrated can throw that whole test off. So remember, that is a possibility. All right. What else should you do? You need to make sure you get vitamin D from the sun. If you live in a place in the world where you can get any sun exposure, you should try to go outside and get at least 30 minutes a day. All right. That's very important. A little bit of a tan, you can tell, yes, you're getting better color. You're getting a tan. You're getting your skin sucking in that vitamin D from the sun. Now, if you're not in a place where you can get a lot of sun, by all means, do a vitamin D supplement, because that's very beneficial to your health. You don't want low vitamin D. All right. The other thing you can do is start taking saunas. All right, either hot or cold plunges. All right. Remember, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stress that body, just don't overdo it. All right. You don't want to stress your body where you're actually creating a stress that becomes a negative. You just want to put a little stress on your body so your body has to adapt to the new stimulus. All right. Fasting. Do I fast? I try to fast. Once you go on a carnivore diet is almost like you're fasting without fasting, because a lot of time when you're that low carb, you're going to be in a mild ketosis. When I check my blood I actually do little finger sticks. My ketosis is usually 0.8, 0.7, whatever, someplace in that range. And that's with no fasting, because I primarily eat meat, okay? Getting back to the proper human diet, which I think is carnivore, but if you want to add anything else, make sure you're eating fermented fruits and vegetables. Don't eat them in their normal state. If you ferment them, it will take care of a lot of their anti-nutrients, their everything that their oxalates and all those things that hurt your kidneys. Fermented vegetables are a lot safer than just eating cooked or raw vegetables, okay? And remember, you can eat not just fermented foods, vegetables, yes, but you can eat like kefir, yogurt, aged cheese, sauerkraut, kvass, kimchi, all these things. I eat 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut. I make it simple. All right, that's it. And then I eat a couple little berries, Blue Moon, because I think probably way back in the zillion years ago, human beings probably found berries occasionally, seasonally, and had a few. All right, let's go back. Okay, fasting, how long you should fast? Well, they say 48, 96 hours for a longer fast, 48 to 96 hours. My longest fast ever has been 72 hours, all right? And like I said, now that I'm carnivore, I'm finding fasting a lot harder. Sex is good, all right? That's something that generally is good for you, all right? Very positive, and I'm sure it, from Dr. Sean Amira, he recommends, you should be sexually active, hopefully with a significant loved one, all right? You can take photos of yourself as you're improving, and instituting all these different things that I'm recommending so you can see that it actually works. If you are consistent with these things, it will work for you. Now, supplementation, all right? Should you supplement? Well, if you have high calcium, maybe you might want to add a little K2, all right? K2, is supposed to direct the calcium away from your soft tissues into your bones, all right? So you could try some K2 supplements. And that's about it. That's what I recommend. I don't recommend anything else. I think that's enough to get you on the right track. If you stabilize your plaque, all right, you have a lot less chance of having an event, all right? And it can be done. Can you lower your CAC score? Maybe. Is the high cholesterol all that bad? If you got high triglycerides, that's definitely a warning signal, all right? Also, do you know you can have a high calcium score without high cholesterol? You could have a normal or low cholesterol reading, but yet still have a high CA score. Now figure that one out. And if you happen to be that type of person that has a high CAC score and can find that out for whatever reason, because I don't even know if you would go have a CAC score if you actually believe, hey, my cholesterol is good, everything's perfect. Those particular individuals that have high CA scores but yet a normal or low cholesterol reading actually are at higher rate of death than people that have a high calcium score and a high cholesterol. Obviously, there's something going on, but that just shows you maybe it's not the cholesterol. Maybe this cholesterol creating this plaque isn't the whole story, all right? There's nuances. But one thing for sure, never give up. Always try your best. Make up your own mind. It's a personal choice about using that statin. There's studies for, against. Most of the studies are backed by money from Big Pharma. Keep that in mind too. Big Pharma wants you to take those statin drugs. All right, that's one thing for sure. Anyways, that is it. I just wanted to give you some ideas what I do. All right, I have lost all my visceral fat from eating carnivore and sprinting and resistance training. Do I do saunas? Yes, I do. Do I do fasting? I try. Every once in a while, I make it 48 hours. It actually shocks myself. I haven't done that 72-hour one in a while. I try to get good sleep too. I go to bed early. I'm up early. I go to bed early. I get up every day at 5:45 a.m. And usually we're working out. We work out, me and my neighbors, believe it or not. My one neighbor, we work out usually 6 days a week together. And then I usually do weighted vest walks on Sunday. Just because, I know I have high cholesterol. I know I have a high CAC score. So I have to go beyond the call of duty just to make sure I'm doing all I can. If something does happen, there's no guarantees. I don't believe it's because I didn't take that statin drug. Those statin drugs, listen, watch the cardiologist, what's his name? Nader Ali. All right, look him up. He has a YouTube with numerous studies. And is there some benefits? Maybe, but whatever benefits are so small with all the possible side effects of cancer, ED, lowering your testosterone, which unless you have, a problem with your prostate or something, most males don't want lower testosterone because you still want to be strong and vibrant and enjoying life. So anyways, go out there and have a great day, and let's go. Don't stop. I don't care if you're out of shape. Baby steps. Get there. Sprints. Do shorter sprints. Work up to 100-yard sprints. Start out slow on those sprints, mind you. Get up to full speed. Hold. And then recover before you do your next one. All right. Resistance train. Do what you can do. Watch some videos. I'm telling you, you can still keep on going. The carnivore doctors are suggesting that humans should live to be 120. All right, 120. Anyways, go out there and have a great day. Carnivore Ken.